So about 6 years ago, I decided to switch my entire practice to focus on the niche market of TMJ and headaches. TMJ stands for temporomandibular joint. Every human's got one. It's your jaw joint, okay? It's the hinge joint that makes your mouth, that allows your jaw to open and close. TMD, so the world at large, generally speaking, everybody refers to the dysfunction of this joint as TMJ. The technical medical term is TMD, or temporomandibular dysfunction. But we just call it TMJ because that's what the world knows it as. 6 years ago, we had a social media kid. Everybody's like, Paul, you have to do social media. Oh my gosh, people need to know. I'm like, I'm old. I don't do social media. I learned my lesson. We hired this kid from ASU, part-time. He's shooting all these videos. And I said, I poke on people. So my work is literally about like this. It's not massagey. It's not funky. It's poking. I said, all I do is poke on people. How many videos can we do around poking? He goes, you're right. He goes, I said, that's not that sexy. He goes, well, let's do specific conditions that you treat. I go, great. He said, what's the easiest thing of anything of any condition that you treat to fix? I did not blink. I didn't hesitate. I go, TMJ and headaches. His eyes get this big. He's like, what are you talking about? Easy. I go, piece of cake. 1 or 2 times, maybe 3, we'll get it fixed. He goes, forgive me for thinking you're nuts because my girlfriend, this was 6 years ago, my girlfriend is home today with a 3-day migraine. She can't work. Her parents have spent about 40 grand chasing answers for her jaw pain. I said, she spent 40 grand at the dentist, right? He goes, yeah, it's a dental problem. I go, it's not a dental problem. It's a muscle imbalance. That's why they keep chasing her tail. Long story short, we bring her in, we fix her. We do a video with her in it. At the end, I'm on a whiteboard in front of this board talking about how the mandible, which is your jaw, mirrors the almost identical position of your pelvis. If your pelvis is forward and tilted, your jaw will be forward and tilted. That's based on reflexes in your inner ear that keep us in equilibrium, keep your eyeballs level. It's a little physics involved there. And I'm showing on a whiteboard how the mandible mirrors the pelvis because your brain compensates from weight-bearing joint to weight-bearing joint to weight-bearing joint. So if you sprained an ankle in high school 30 years ago that still plagues you some way today, I can make a very scientific argument that that's why you have TMJ and headaches. And people go, what the hell's my ankle got to do with it? If your ankle hurts, you're going to limp, right? You're going to limp on the opposite side. So the ankle, the knee, the hip, the shoulder, and the jaw are all weight-bearing joints. If your ankle hurts on your right ankle hurts, you're going to limp on your left side. Your left knee is going to take the brunt, maybe the left hip. Over time, 3 weeks, it becomes the new normal. 3 weeks to create a new neural pathway. If I limp for 3 weeks, aspects of that limp will become part of my new normal gait or walking pattern forever. That is going to create the need for protection other places. So what ends up happening is there's a zigzag pattern that goes from weight-bearing joint to weight-bearing joint to weight-bearing joint. All ends in the jaw. Nowhere else for the energy to go. I say energy, and it's not necessarily the woo-woo energy. It's electrical, neural energy. Anytime your brain tells you to do something, blink, breathe, speak, move your fingers, it's an electric signal from the brain to a muscle saying contract and work. So we're basically huge human circuit boards of electricity. My very simple exam is a body map. It takes me 5 minutes. I go around head to toe, poke on all your big pretty muscles, and it's very high tech. I put an X on a body chart with a pen. And what I X is the areas that I call hot spots. And they're just areas where anybody that's ever had a massage and they're digging in your back and you're going, oh yeah, purring like a kitten. And then, oh, they hit those spots. Those are the spots that I chart. Those are the ones that get me excited because those are the areas where your brain is most actively protecting you that nobody in the industry really looks at. And again, I don't say that to toot my horn or that I'm smarter. I don't know why. 30 years of doing this, I don't know why people don't look at this. That's my whole thing, is to find these patterns. So when we find these patterns, the areas that we're poking on, they're very sore, but it's not a soreness from me. I'm identifying imbalances or short circuits in the electrical system, if that makes sense. Because we have this reflex in our inner ear, it's called the writing reflex. I call it the corrective reflex. Its main job is to keep your eyeballs level with the horizon at all times when you're upright and active. I go visually a step further and say you have the equivalent of a level bubble. between your eyeballs. So if you picture a level bubble here, the reflex is in your inner ear, uses millions of visual inputs to keep the level bubble level, no matter what crap's going on in the rest of your body. So you might have a terrible back, bad hip, bad knee, bad foot. All of that compensation is going to weave its way through your body, but your eyeballs have to be level for you to remain in equilibrium. Its only job, this reflex, is to keep you from ever getting dizzy. Dizziness is considered the ultimate form of dysfunction. You can do nothing when you're dizzy. It's such a big deal that this amazing miracle brain of ours has a full defense system built in to keep us from ever experiencing that. But again, I think doctors learn this stuff in the first week of med school because it's basic neurology and neuroscience, but then they get into the complexities and forget about the bubble. When I talk to my clients, I break it down. So many clients tell me that oh, you're a storyteller. I love the way you explain it because it's like a story. I don't get highly medical techie with them, right? I say everything is about that bubble. I know when clients walk in my door, they're in equilibrium. The bubble's doing its job. The reflex is working. If you couldn't, you wouldn't be functional, right? So when you come in, I know the bubble's good, but based on everything else you have in your body, the bubble's going to produce this pattern from head to toe.